I'd like to think about one of those strong emotions, the strong emotion of fear. Fear is a good gift from God, because if we're in danger, it means that we get out of there. We fix the problem to get into a place of safety. But that fear, that fire alarm of fear, if it's not calibrated right, can lead to deep anxiety and insecurity. And there are 4 ways to think about each of these fire alarms. The 4 ways are the idea of the head, the heart, the body, and the hands. When we think of the head, what we want to be thinking is, has the child understood the situation right? The fear that they're feeling, is it appropriate to the situation? Is the house really on fire, or is it just toast? And so what we want to be able to teach the kids is to assess the situation right. Is the house burning down, or is it just toast? But the second thing that we need to deal with is a heart issue, because actually, one of the things that the Bible makes so clear is that one of the ways to describe sin is idolatry, where we take something that's good and we treat it like God. So it's good that we want to be kind to people, that we want to please people, we want to be good relationships with people. But if we make that our God, then we become people pleasers. And so when we're thinking about fear, the child may understand that it's just toast. But actually, if there's an idolatry there, or if there's a deep-seated insecurity there, even though they know it's just toast, it can feel overwhelming. You've had teenagers who, when it comes to exam times, the pressure of exams weighs on them in an unnaturally severe way. They are filled with anxiety and fear. And often it can be teenagers who everyone else knows are going to ace the exams. They're going to do fantastic. But if they've built their identity around their achievements, around their success, if they've taken those good things and made them their God, then what happens is, even though everyone else knows, listen, you've studied hard, you're going to do well. Even if you don't do well, there's still plenty of jobs and opportunities. It's not the end of the world. Even though the teenager may be able to articulate, this isn't life or death. This shouldn't cause such severe anxiety, such severe fear. Even though they can acknowledge that in their head, if in their heart there is an idolatry where they want to get their meaning and their purpose and their value from exam results, it doesn't matter that they can articulate it's just toast. The anxiety will still be there. Or equally, if it's a child that has often struggled and everyone thinks their siblings are the smart one, and there's an insecurity where they think they're stupid and worthless, and actually facing these exams, they fear that these exams are going to confirm to the rest of the world that they really are that stupid. If that deep-seated anxiety is there, even though they can articulate in their head that this isn't a life or death situation, it's more like toast, even though they can articulate that, in their heart, this insecurity is blowing everything out of proportion. And so we got to deal with the head and say, has the situation been assessed realistically? Has the fire alarm been calibrated correctly? That's the head. But we've also got to deal with the heart. Is there an idolatry issue or an insecurity issue that's eating away at them? But we've also got to understand that we are embodied beings, that God has given us a body, and our mind and our body are not these two separate things. They affect each other. And so even though I can articulate that something is just toast, and even if I'm doing work on my heart and trying to put idolatries away and insecurities away to focus on Jesus Christ and that He is my all, He is my treasure, my body can still be out of sync. Panic and anxiety can still kick in, and that's where we need to develop those ideas of getting our breathing right. I remember when I was young, I used to do athletics, and before a race, I'd get so nervous, and one of the pieces of advice my coach would give me was get my breathing right, the deep breaths in and the deep breaths out, and actually it just calmed me write down. And I used it for everything. If I go to exams, if I go to job interviews, the way that he had taught me to manage my body through breathing was fantastic. And God has created us as embodied beings. And yeah, we got to get the head right. Is it toast or is the house on fire? We've got to get the heart right, where we put away idolatries and insecurities and focus our love and our identity on Jesus. But we've also got to understand that our bodies are real. And sometimes the smelling a flower and the blowing a leaf can do amazing things to just tell our body that things are okay. But we also sometimes need a hand. Where actually what children sometimes need is just someone to come alongside them and to help them. Someone to be their crutch the first time, whether they're trying to climb a wall or go on a walk along a tight bridge. Someone who's there just to hold their hand, just to show that it's okay, and then the next time they can do it themselves, because we need that support. We need that help from others. And so when we're thinking about these strong emotions, whether it's sadness or fear or guilt or anger, and we're teaching children to manage them and develop them, we need to be thinking about the head. We assess the situation right. We need to be thinking about the heart. Are there idolatries or insecurities that need to be put away and our love focused on Jesus Christ? We need to think about our bodies. And have we learned how to calm our bodies down and use them the way God has designed them to be used? And we also need to think about the hands. Do we need to be a support, a temporary crutch for our children to be able to deal with the experiences that they're going through?